Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I felt like I had to kind of make this video if I'm going to be honest with you. We're just going to be doing a bit of fishing on Starbound. I have collected a few fish, that's why I'm on a toxic planet, because I did scrap the recording. I wasn't happy with it. Again, it's because it's in Movie Maker. And I was going to make a different video today. I mean, I've got the Imaginators one to upload, which I could have uploaded if I'm being fair, but I felt like this one needed to come out first, and that was to do with the Sun and Moon leaks. And as I say, I could have uploaded the Imaginators review, and I was also thinking like, oh hey, what if I also buy the Sony Vegas. I couldn't remember the name of it then. What if I bought Sony Vegas on screen so we could like install it together, we could learn it together? But that's gonna wait, because this video really needs to be addressed, and the actual situation needs to be addressed itself, and that is the Sun and Moon leaks. And obviously I have got a bit of the NX. I'm just gonna go to a different planet because I think I've harvested all the fish I can harvest here with the rod that I've got. I've just left my boat back there. Does it just come back into my inventory? No, you've got to go get it. You've got to go get it. But yeah, so I had to address this today because I feel like it has got out of hand, and that is the Sun and Moon leaks. And when is a leak too far? When does it go too far? And I think with Pokemon Sun and Moon, it has got out of hand. It went way too far, and it's affecting a lot of people, including myself. Because now, even if you're trying to avoid spoilers, and for all of you that are trying to avoid spoilers, this is why I scrapped the other video. I respect that you are trying to avoid spoilers, and I am going to try and avoid showing you them all except for one. So I will just tell you now that the one spoiler that we're going to discuss is the Final Evolution starters. You will probably have already seen them, so it's kind of not a spoiler. But the Chinese leaks of these three, the Grass Owl, the Fire Kitten, and the Siren Poplio, are real. They are the Final Evolutions. So we have now got 100% confirmation that these ones that have been floating around the internet for a while are real. These are the Final Evolutions. That's the only one I'm going to tell you. There is a lot of other stuff that I'm not going to say what shows up, because at one point I was like, oh, these, I summarized it. I said like this in general shows up, but even then people might have thought it's a little bit too spoilerish, and I may say them again just for reference. But anyway, the Sun and Moon demo came out, and people like NW Player did crack into it. They did bust it wide open, and Game Freak or Nintendo, whichever it was, has indeed left a lot of data inside of it, and it's quite frustrating. It's quite annoying to know how much was left in there, because people like NW Player has let everything loose. You know, everything has been fully mined. So the demo, I'm trying not to spoil it, but the demo has had a full-on mine. My ship is sinking. Excuse me. What hit it? I don't understand. Oh, I guess we're going down with the ship. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I didn't even know the ship could break. I guess we're just going to be fishing off the shore then. I wonder what happens if we throw our fishing rod in the deep, though. Oh. We can throw our fishing rod in the deep ocean. I don't know how that works. Don't actually know how this works, but will this catch a legendary fish? Like, I'm just being silly here, but if I throw this down here, will this actually catch a legendary fish? There's something coming for it. Weird, because I know the legendary fish exist in the deep, so I was thinking like, oh, maybe there's a legendary fish down in the deep, but never mind. So yeah, NW Player leaked everything. There was a lot of stuff on the demo, including, and I'll just say two things it includes. It includes a lot more than this. There's tons of things, but it does include the entire Pokedex and the entire list of the Ultra Beasts. So that's the two spoilers that I will tell you are in there. And as I saw them, because obviously I'm attached to YouTube, you all watch me on a daily basis, or I know some of you do watch me on a daily basis. If you're on YouTube and social media as much as I am, you're not going to escape the spoilers. If you're trying to avoid any kind of spoilers, it's not going to happen. It's taken the internet by wildfire, and you know, everything's on there. There is... Oh, sorry, it's on every social media site. There is YouTube, Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and you're not going to escape it. Because even if you're trying to avoid spoilers, sooner or later you're going to see one stray thumbnail with a new Pokemon on it, one stray tweet, one stray Facebook post, one stray image. It doesn't matter how much you try, you're going to see like. It might only be out the corner of your eye. You might not want to see it. You might just be like, oh, I only saw it out my corner of my eye, but you've still seen it. Like, you're not going to escape the spoilers for Sun and Moon. And knowing what I know now, it has certainly tainted my opinion of... There we go. It's certainly tainted my opinion of Sun and Moon when the full version comes out. Like, when I review it, I'm going into the review knowing what I know now, and it's bad. It is a genuine annoyance to me, and I was thinking about this last night as I was seeing everything come to light, and I had to ask myself, like, I have to ask the question to all of you: when do you think data mining and even promotional stuff, because the Pokemon Company is just as guilty, and we're going to get into them in a minute, but when do you think that data mining and just general promotion goes too far? For myself, I think that Pokemon Sun and Moon has gone too far, and I'm going to tell you now. I'm just going to let you all know this now. If you are planning on buying Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, lower your expectations. It's got the Mighty Number 9 problem. It's got the No Man's Sky problem. They've showed so much promotional art, so many Pokemon out of the Pokedex, so many things like the Z moves and the trials, and you know, all this stuff that we know. They've shown so much of it off that there's nothing left. Like, I know the data mine, I know what was revealed in the leaks, and you know, when I compare that to what's been shown by promotion, I'm going to say that, like, promotionally, like official things, you've already seen 90% of it all. As I say, the entire Pokedex got leaked. This is just one thing that I'm going to address. I'm not going to mention any new Pokemon except for the 3 final starters, but you know, the final, or the entire Pokedex got leaked. But when you compare the entire Pokedex to what they've shown, like all of the Pokemon they've shown officially that have been out for months now, that is pretty much all of them. Like, everything on the promotional material is 90% of the Pokedex. Like, we're missing a few legendaries like Mars Shadow, and a few other Pokemon and a few other evolutions. But you've already seen officially 90% of the Pokedex. They have promoted it so much that they already showed all of it off. Like, when I saw the entire Pokedex, I was expecting more. You know, we've seen, what is it, like 60 Pokemon? And I was thinking, oh, 60, you know, there's 150 every generation. We're going to see like another 60 more. No, there is only like 60. There's a little bit more. But as I say, to all of you that are trying to avoid spoilers and only looking at official stuff, you've already seen 90% of the Pokedex. You've pretty much seen every Pokemon before the game's even out, because they've over-promoted it. They've gone too far. So now I'm not looking forward to seeing what Pokemon I find. Granted, I've obviously seen a few extras that you haven't. I'll try fishing now. It's daytime, because there's some that appear in the day and some that appear at night, so I was just like waiting for the day to night cycle to change just to see if anything new pops up. No, that's old, as is that. I don't understand the fishing, to be honest with you. But yeah, so they've already shown like 90% of it off. We'll just go to a fire planet. They've already shown like 90% of the Pokedex off. And I'm just like, well, that sucks, because there's no new Pokemon. There's no new Pokemon for people to discover, because all of the official promotional stuff has shown off 90% of it. And then I got to look at other things. This is now where I won't spoil it. I got to look at other things, and it's like, nah, there's nothing there, Spyro. You've already seen it all in promotional art. About one or two things, you've already seen it in promotional art. And from what I've seen and playing the demo, I'm gonna say to everyone that's excited for this, don't be overexcited. It is a No Man's Sky situation. They've showed off so many promotional things like the Z moves and it's got trials and all like this. They've showed off so much promotional material that you've pretty much seen the entire game, and they've showed off and they've hyped it up so much that your expectations are too high. Sun and Moon, from all of the leaks that I have been forced to look at yesterday, Sun and Moon and all of its content is Pokemon X and Y. Like, I know that might sound a little bit shit to people, but it is on the same level as Pokemon X and Y. There is not that much that's different. It's still a top-down RPG. You still talk to people. You still heal your Pokemon at Pokemon Centers. You still do battles as normal. There's nothing that's changed about battles. It's just that Mega Evolutions have been replaced with Z moves, pretty much. You're still fighting a bad team like Team Rocket, or in this case Team Skull. They don't do anything different. And the trials, well, I mean, I don't want to say too much about the trials, but what I've seen. But the trials themselves are not all they're cracked up to be. I'll say that much. So, my question to you is, when do you think that promotion and data mining has gone too far? I mean, this is mostly the Pokemon Company's fault, you know, because the leak pretty much just confirmed that we've seen everything in the game before it's even come out. They promoted everything in the game. Even the Ultra Beast, again, there is something about the Ultra Beast I've seen. You can go look for it yourself, but for those trying to avoid spoilers, you know, in the promotional trailers, we've seen the Ultra Beast coming out of portals. We know about the Ultra Beasts, and in the leak, other things got revealed about them. And it's kind of like, when you know the things about them, how can I explain this without spoiling it? But when you know the things about them, it's kind of like you already knew before. If there was no leaks, if there was no leak whatsoever, and if there was no leak whatsoever, and you just said, I think the Ultra Beasts XYZ, you were probably right. Whatever you're guessing about the Ultra Beast right now, you're probably right, because that's just how it is. And it's like, wow, it's kind of depressing, actually. So yeah, and you know, what was I gonna say? So yeah, it's like, oh, this is everything you know, and it's like, oh, well, that's everything, is it? And it's like, yeah. So I don't know what else to say. Now, there is a big issue of why it's this way, and that's because of Nintendo and its NX, and this is where the NX part comes in. And I think it's because Nintendo just doesn't care anymore. I live in England, so I'm just going to tell you about what's going on. You see, I live in England, and in England we have the... Oh, come on. but in England we have the English version of E3. It's in London and it's called MCM. That is the I can't remember what MCM stands for, but as I say, in England we have something called MCM, which is basically the English UK version of E3. And in the UK English version of E3, you have a lot of things being shown off, a lot of different games, and a lot of English people are speculating that due to how close the NX is to release, this is why they haven't said anything about it yet, because English E3, you know, what better time to watch it? I mean, it's not as big as the American E3, you know, the entire world isn't watching you, but what better place to release it than the English version of E3? You'll have the majority of people looking at you, you'll have the majority of people with their eyes focused on what Nintendo has decided to show off, and with the majority of people saying, oh yeah, they're showing off this, you can be like, oh, here's the NX, here it is in all its glory, perfect. So I think that's why they're waiting to reveal the NX. Why are there bloody ice planets in a fiery star? But I think that's why they're waiting to reveal the NX, because they're waiting till this week. Let me just check. It's this Friday, I think. Yeah, they're waiting till the 28th, 29th, and 30th. Those are the 3 days of E3. And if I'm a betting man, that's got to be where it's released. That's got to be at what point that the NX will be shown at the English E3. So that's why there's been nothing about the NX, and that's kind of why like the English version of Nintendo tweeted out like, oh hey, Splatoon's having a contest and you can win the next E3, or you can win the next generation console, the NX. But only the English Nintendo Twitter said that, not the American one, not the Europe one. Only the English one said you can win an NX. Now, why would only the English one say that? Because next week is the English E3, so it kind of lines up. So I think that's why there's been nothing about the NX, because they're waiting till next week. So they're waiting till the English E3. Then at the English E3, they'll be like, "Hey, remember a week ago when we posted that thing on the English Twitter? Well, here it is." However, that's what you have to do. Like, there's no debating it at this point. The NX is now literally 4 months away. At the end of October, the NX will be 4 months away from release. Everybody's getting very tired of hearing nothing. You know, we've had all these people like Ubisoft saying, oh, it's fantastic, it's great, it's amazing. Yeah, but we haven't seen it. You can say it's great all you want, but we're not seeing anything. And it's at the point now where they have to show something. Something has to be shown off at E3, or the world's just going to stop caring. You've done a No Man's Sky like with Pokemon Sun and Moon. You've hyped it up far, far too much, and now it's kind of like over. So you got to show something off, Nintendo. But now I'm going to talk about the NX more on why I think Sun and Moon is the way it is, and that is because the Nintendo NX is rumoured to be a hybrid system, and if it's a hybrid system, the reason why they've left all this stuff in Sun and Moon is because they don't care anymore. All of their old systems are dead in the water, so to speak, because if we are to assume they are correct, and we are to assume it is a hybrid console, so you can play like portable games like a DS, and then the other games like a Wii U, then we won't need a DS, or by their logic, we won't need a DS because you've got the NX as your hybrid system. So all your handheld games will be NX, so you'll have your console games NX and your portable games NX. So there'll be no need for a 3DS. So any data that was left over in the demo, yeah, they've got more than enough money. They've got thousands upon thousands, millions. They've got more than enough money to hire someone and be like, oh, hey, here you go. We're just going to hire you to scrub the game completely. Like, we don't want a single shred of leaks in there. Maybe leave the final starters in there because that's what people will pick their starter on. But aside from the final evolutions, no. Fuck, nearly lost him. But aside from the final evolutions, no. Don't leave anything in there. I want that disc, cartridge, whatever you call it. I want that ROM completely scrubbed. They could have easily had someone to do that. But fuck it, because it's going to be one of the last 3DS games. Like, after this, you're going to have the NX. It's going to have portable games as well as the other games. So we don't need to. We don't need to scrub it because, yeah. So obviously, hold on. This is a rare one. I've not seen this guy. Oh, he's feisty. Give me a second. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. No, let him go. He's coming. He's coming. We haven't seen this one before. He's out. Lamprey. He looks a little bit scary, to be honest. But yeah, so we haven't seen anything from them, and it's like, oh, it's going to be a handheld and a regular one. It's going to be handheld and portable, or handheld and home entertainment, so you won't need a DS anymore. So Sun and Moon, fuck it, doesn't matter how many leaks are in Sun and Moon. It doesn't matter what data's left over in Sun and Moon, because we'll be actually properly focusing on keeping all the secrets for the NX. And as I say, it saddens me because I now know a lot of things, and when I do my review of Sun and Moon, you know, the Imaginators review isn't going to be a ramble like this. It's well put together. It's a lot more cohesive. But I just kind of wanted to vent, I guess. I guess this is more of a vent video than anything, but I have to feel bad because when I buy Sun and Moon, I know everything that's going to happen in it, and even you do as well. And that's what's annoying, because it's not like the leaks did that much damage. You know, it showed off a few more Pokemon in the Pokedex, because every Pokemon in the Pokedex you've already seen bar one or two. Like, you haven't seen Mars Shadow, and you haven't seen like a few other Pokemon, but all the ones that have been promoted, that's pretty much it. The Pokedex, you've pretty much seen the entire Pokedex, so don't expect to see anything new because you've already seen them all. So yeah, it's just like, they've promoted it wrong. To me now, they've promoted it wrong. They've hyped it up too much to a No Man's Sky degree, and when it comes out, it's not going to come out to, oh my god, this is the best Pokemon game ever. It's going to come out to, this is just kind of like X and Y. This wasn't what I was expecting, and it's going to get hammered for it, which is going to backfire on Nintendo. Nintendo's going to throw a hissy fit and say, well, clearly you don't like Pokemon anymore, or the DS is dead, this killed the DS, and it just ties in, hey, if Pokemon Sun and Moon kill the DS, that just ties us into us making the NX a handheld device. So Nintendo are playing a very strange game right now. They're playing a very long game, and I have to say, from everything I've seen, from everything that is going on at Nintendo right now, and with everything that's going on, like behind the scenes, because we don't know, and in the public eye more so to speak, because we're the ones that are not seeing it, but the investors are. Nintendo really has to do something with this console. Like, they really have to pull something amazing out. Because if there is one fuck up on the NX, like a single fuck up, if there's any kind of single fuck up on the NX, I think that's going to be it for Nintendo. Like, not in terms of game making, they'll make games, but in terms of having their own consoles, in terms of being first party, the Wii was a fluke because it had shitty motion controls and everybody thought, oh, it's amazing. The Wii U was a critical failure, and they've been tanking on that ever since. Now, I don't think the Wii U is a critical failure. I think they should just focus on the games on the Wii U. I think they should go third party on the Wii U. They won't, because it's already dead now, but the Wii U was a great system, no matter what anybody says. It was just marketed wrong. And it does have some major problems, which I hope the NX fixes. Like, it doesn't have a share button like the PS4, it's not streamer friendly, it doesn't have basic sound effects and volume options, it has no options, it doesn't allow any kind of customization, it doesn't allow any kind of modding. You know, there is a lot of things that Xbox One and PlayStation 4 did to kick the shit out of the Wii U, and that's why it's a dead system, that's why it failed, but it's still the one that is the most usable. You know, like the PlayStation 4, I have a PlayStation 4 myself, and I was, if you want, I was more the Sony fanboy across the generations. You know, I thought the PS1 was the best, I thought the PS2 was the best, and I thought the PS3 was the best out of all of them. PS3 beat Wii. Well, no, I'd say the GameCube was pretty good, but I think the PS2 did just kind of kill it. And I'd say, like, you know, Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, some of my Majora's Mask, some of my favourite games of all time. But when you compare the N64 to the PlayStation 1, you know, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, there's so many, there's just so much that it had over the N64. So I was a bit of a Sony fanboy, but even now that I've become a full-time, you know, well, I'm not full-time, but you know what I mean, now I've become a more professional reviewer and I look at all three in a negative connotation, I think the Wii U did the best, because even though I'm a Sony fanboy, there's a lot of things that the PlayStation 4 did wrong that I absolutely hate. A lot of things I love, but there's a lot of things the PlayStation 4 did wrong that I hate. Especially like the load times, you know, you put a disc in, it's like preparing installation. After preparing installation, it says installing. After it's installed, it'll then come up with a third loading bar, you know, finalizing installation. Wii U still like PlayStation 1. You can put the disc in and play the game. The second that disc's in, you're playing the game. So they beat PlayStation on that respect. PlayStation and Xbox are trying to become shitty PCs. I've got a PC, thank you. Can we have a game system like the Wii U where it's just for fucking games? So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they did right, but Nintendo really has to get their shit together. And if the English E3 in 2 weeks' time on the 28th, if the English E3 doesn't show off the NX, I think Nintendo is pretty much fucked. But that's the thoughts, and we'll have the review up tomorrow. But for now, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.